passed, we'll call the meeting to order. First, we have nobody calling in today. First order of business is approval of the February 24th, 2026 minutes. Is there a motion on the floor? Member Duncan and Member Coates. Any comments, corrections? Seeing none, please cast your vote. Coach, how would you like to vote? Oh, got it? Okay. Motion carries all ayes. That would bring us to informational items. I move to receive and file 3.1 to 3.4. Unless there's anybody would like any comments or questions. Seeing none, that will bring us to 3.5 and strategic plan Q1 update. Ms. Woods.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've gone over this in your committees, but here at Executive, we have the first quarter of the 2026 action agenda update, giving you a progress report on the 20 or so actions you have for 2026. The website is also updated. This is a new format for 2026 in a more narrative format and is intended to give you a look back at the last quarter and sort of a look ahead for the next quarter or two with target completion dates. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those now or refer to the right department head.
Questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Then that would bring us to JD, Discover Peoria. Third time's a charm.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all. Begin with one more thank you for your continued support towards promoting our destination alongside Discover Peoria. The Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, which makes up 7 counties with the partnership with the state of Illinois. Just a quick run through of what we've done in partnership from January through December 2025 as it pertains to the work in Peoria County. Just a quick recap of our vision or our purpose, why we show up every day, is to promote the Peoria area as the most desired destination for wholesome, memorable experiences. We do that by promoting to residents and visitors alike. When you get down into the vision statement, you'll see that as an industry leader, we'll work to promote our region as a desired destination for visitors, contributing to the economic growth of the communities we represent, enhancing quality of life for residents, and amplifying pride across our region. The benefits of partnership as it pertains to the promotion of hospitality businesses in Peoria County. Because of the support, we're able to put nearly 700 business listings, 695 to be exact, on our website, which have garnered 131,000 views on discoverpeoria.com. Through a large digital campaign, we've been able to garner 6.8 million Google impressions as it pertains to those listings and the traffic to our website. Because of that digital campaign, we saw incredible growth. You can see 94% increase in views and over 100% increase in Google impressions year over year. 256 business listings from 12 other municipalities on discoverpeoria.com. I guess that's a Peoria specific number. Bartonville, Bellevue, Brimfield, Chillicothe, Dunlap, Elmwood, Glassford, Hannah City, Peoria Heights, Princeville, Trevoli, and West Peoria. Those combined received 45,000 views and 1.75 million Google impressions. So that's the Peoria specific numbers there. When we get into the social media promotion, again, through a large digital campaign, we have promotion on social media. We have a social following of nearly 36,000, generated more than 12 million total impressions across all content in 2025. It's a 32% increase in our following, and 458% increase in total impressions year over year. We have not pushed a digital campaign as hard or as targeted as we did last year. So those are pretty significant numbers to where if we continue that momentum, clearly, growth is the goal. But with the partnership with the city of Peoria, as well as Peoria County, that's what we've been able to push as well as the other funding mechanisms with the state of Illinois. We look to carry that momentum as we continue this work in 2026. Our Discover Guide, we had Discover Peoria County as one of 6 guides that we distributed. We had 23,000 distributed. That is to clients, potential visitors, anybody requesting them from across the United States, our hotels, our venues. All of this information about Peoria County is being dispersed across the state and the region. When I say the region, you can think about the surrounding states. Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri are typically hotbeds for this guide distribution, but we do ship across the country as well. Our Doorway to Discovery campaign was a marketing campaign primarily funded through the City of Peoria's Peoria Marketing Fund. So all the content within that was in Peoria County as it's restricted, and the City of Peoria more specifically. That was an 84% increase in total users to the website year over year. I told the city administrator, we do have some videos to show some of the work that's been done. Don't know if it's going to necessarily play the audio.
For an afternoon together, it's of the world. Smash becomes a shared adventure. Connection runs as big as the machines inside the center. It's all sizes. Where getting to the game is just the start of the fun. And the excitement on the ice brings you closer together. In Peoria, every doorway leads to discovery.
We had 4 seasonal commercials that were posted throughout the year, and we have one more of those seasonal ones coming towards the summer before we begin our next campaign for digital placement. This might be another example.
Bakery starts at about 3 a.m. That's the foundation and the heartbeat of everything. Naturally leavened sourdough breads, hand-rolled pastries, coffee service. To hear more about Larder, go to doorwaytodiscovery.com.
There was a second consideration level of the marketing campaign that focused on small businesses. So it was Cody with Our Door as part of one of the spotlights. Our photo assets continue to develop. This is one way in which we continue to brand the region, and particularly as we speak today, Peoria County, to the same branding guidelines that we have. So the way their video, our photography, our messaging, our newsletters, our radio commercials, our TV segments are all pushed so that the imagery that we want is pushed to the standards in which we believe highlights the best brand, the best feeling about the region we represent. So this is an ongoing way in which we continue to build assets. Again, for any reference, if the county needs any of these assets, please reach out in case it's any highlighting the festivals, events, or any of the assets, particularly this one in the bottom middle, Peoria Riverfront Museum. We can happily share these assets with you in our partnership. Further video assets, I can't remember which ones these are, but they highlight more of the video assets we do on a more nimble basis, less so a large production of the campaign you saw earlier, but ways to promote the assets or stories that are occurring right in our backyard. Pop-up chicken, clearly the music and imagery. So ways in which we can promote and ways the creativity of our videographer comes about. I'll play one more, and again, I'll see which one plays here. I can't remember. So these videos have high traction when we post on Instagram, TikTok, and other and Meta platforms as well, Facebook. The ways in which we boost some of those stories as well garners more traction based off the organic growth we see. We'll boost that as well. Additional promotions, quick update on the hotel leads from Discover Peoria, the hotel status. Year-end occupancy was 55% in 2025, up 1% from the previous year. Average daily rate, your ADR is at 106.71, down 1.5%. And RevPAR, revenue per available room, was 53.65, down 0.6%, less than a point. We do continue to have biweekly TV segments on WEK 25 News, biweekly radio segments on 95.5 GLO. Newsletter is put out throughout the month for 15,000 subscribers, and then continued promotion through the Illinois Office of Tourism. As we partner as a certified bureau, we do have the staying power of the state's marketing arm behind us. Furthermore, Peoria Partnership is included within our Discover Guide, our Peoria commercials, magazine advertisements, and in last year, calendar year, we had 66 blogs, 365 social posts, 332 social stories, 24 TV mentions, and 119 reels that were pertaining to Peoria County entities in that last calendar year.
JD, could you
Yes.
go back to one slide?
Yes.
So obviously this is Peoria County. So, and you cover 7 counties between Louisville Slugger and the Civic Center downtown. Do you know what the data is for occupancy rates for Peoria County hotels?
Yeah, it's pretty much going to be our Peoria numbers. The only hotels I believe we have outside of the city of Peoria would be a couple in Chillicothe.
No, but compared to, is that 55% occupancy your region, or is
Oh,
that city of
regions.
Peoria
That
numbers?
is just city of Peoria. That's Peoria County numbers
Okay.
we pulled. Again, the regional numbers they're incredibly similar. Occupancy may be 56% or 55.5%. The variability between the Peoria area, when you're thinking Peoria, East Peoria, Morton, Washington, Pekin, their area numbers are very similar. The ADR might be $1 difference. There is no real comparison, but we do know that's specific to Peoria. Does that answer to help you? Okay. Speaking of Louisville Slugger Sports Complex, just over 432,000 visits to the complex last year. We do similar videos pertaining to these complexes. I'll speak outside of this slide here. I heard some conversations talking about ways in which other places around the region have attracted not only sporting events, but retained visitors to those complexes, ones we've seen in the Quad Cities as well. We are current, as part of our role, we are working with even Louisville Slugger now and potential developers to do more of that opportunity to drive more sales around the complex as it pertains to the visitor experience. So hoping to work on that throughout the next year to make sure we get maybe some development there in ways that we haven't seen in the city yet. Another large partner is the Peoria Civic Center.
Jody, I'm the assistant stage manager of the Wicked National Tour. We're so excited to have landed here in Peoria for our run at the Prairie Home Alliance Theater until August 31st. The Wicked National Tour has been out on the road for about 15 years, and we have no signs of stopping. I'm actually from Illinois, so it's kind of nice to be home and to bring this wonderful story to all of you over the next couple of weeks. We hope that you'll come out and see us.
That video was shared only because that was a quick, kind of off the cuff opportunity. We worked with the national Broadway series of Wicked last year. The Civic Center saw nearly 780,000 visits to the Civic Center. Most of that was heavily between January and May. Think of from January up until the May graduations, a significant historic traffic that was being done there, and the rest carries into the fall after the summer months are a little bit slower. So significant growth within there. We want to talk about as well is kind of our partnership as we represent all of Peoria County, including our Chillicothe partnership. You can see some of the statistics here as to how these partnerships are garnering the promotion of Discover Peoria alongside their tourism efforts. Elmwood partnership as well, Discover Guide feature, the blog, social posts, social stories, TV mentions, and reels. Princeville, we highlighted the efforts, not just what we do on tourism, but when we saw the efforts for the voting that went out for their opportunity, we actually put money forward to boost the posts that were encouraging the voting within their contest for fundraising efforts there. So kind of shared some of the results of putting just a little bit of money towards. We got, nearly 100,000 more views on Princeville by their efforts that seem to be going viral in their efforts. Non-partnered municipalities. The previous ones are formal partnerships with the Discover Peoria. Non-partnered municipalities within Peoria include Dunlap, Brimfield, Bartonville, Hannah City, West Peoria, and Peoria Heights. Peoria Heights has been a partner. We're working towards another formal partnership with them, as currently they sit as non-partnered. But even then, because of the support we have here, as well as the state of Illinois, we can promote that alongside them. With our partnered municipalities, we have more of that tailored two-way communication as to what they specifically want in their municipalities. But we have so many great assets across Peoria County that these destinations are also getting an additional promotion, which we love to do. With that, I just want to give a brief overview and some videos here to highlight a little bit of the work that we do to promote, but I'm always happy for feedback, questions, or any concerns you may have as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Questions for JD? Member Rosenbaum?
Didn't see anything on Wildlife Prairie Park or the Peoria Zoo. I've noticed in some of the stuff that I get, some of the farm magazines, they say the things to go to in Illinois and all that, and nobody ever brings up the Wildlife Prairie Park. It's such a gem, and they're not going to be putting in a RV park, so that'll even make it so the people who go to Louisville Slugger, if they're coming from out of state or whatever, they can park there, see the park, go to anything like that. So I was just wondering, are you doing stuff on that and just didn't come up on this, or I want to wait till the end to make sure that we're not forgetting our gems on those two. Thank you.
It's a great observation, and it was a mistake not to include them. We do a heavy promotion for Wildlife Prairie Park. Not only are they a formal partner of ours, so in ways in which we dedicate or work with our shuttle for their large-scale events, but also selling these spaces as an opportunity for people to come visit. It is a meeting space that we work with our sales team. Furthermore, I am incredibly lucky that Roberta English is my current board chair at the time, so we make sure she wouldn't let us go unnoticed all the same. But you're right, there's significant traffic, and there's ways in which we're even working with that park to understand more of the demographics and the visitation that helps them and their marketing. They do have complimentary ad space on many of our guides as well, so we do have a strong one. It was just not shown here. I apologize. Yeah.
Member Allison?
Do you do any, I know in the booklets you kind of lay out how a weekend in Peoria might look. Do you do any of that digitally, linking one activity to another, kind of like Member Rosenbaum just said, staying here and visiting here, anything like that digitally?
Yes, and when we talk about the blogs being one of the first focal points, is I believe our website is our greatest asset that we have for information, right? As we mentioned at the beginning, we're trying to appeal to both residents and visitors alike, right? Because everybody can, I was touring, I was a tourist in Peoria this last weekend because we hit the new analytical brewing before we went to Ardmore for dinner. So I say that because we want to contribute to the economic fabric that is tourism. We do that because there's more to do in just one outing. And so many of our blogs are itinerary focused, right? It's not just go visit this place. Here are the top 10 places to grab a burger on a patio. These are 5 places to enjoy the outdoors on a weekend. Hosting your family. We have swarmed our digital content on our website to be informative, both for resident and visitor alike. Now, some of the things we're doing now is pushing more of the digital marketing behind some of those itineraries and where you can find that information, right? Not only will our homepage be kind of customized to the times that we're seeing. Last week, you saw St. Patrick's Day activities to do. Before that, it was probably Valentine's Day, right? In the summer, move-in weekend at Bradley University, sports tourism during it, and then, depending on where we sit in season, we're trying to push that. One thing we're working on right now is we put a one-to-one match with advertising for the first time on Pinterest. And the reasons being is that we're seeing that it has a 93% female demographic on Pinterest. And more than 90% of the household plans are made by the female in the household, right? Even me, my wife plans all her vacations, despite me being in this industry. And so we also know that people on that platform scroll 4 times slower than other platforms. So we're trying to, because we have a one-to-one match opportunity with our vendor, we're going to be able to learn a lot more about how we're pushing those itineraries specifically on that platform, and then how we can continue that kind of in the next probably 8 to 10 months. So because we put 15,000 towards that with the one-to-one match, we're going to have 30,000 worth of spend to learn a little bit more about that technique and how we can execute that. A little bit more than maybe what you asked, but hopefully I answered it for you.
Other comments? Thanks, JD. Appreciate it. So the next is not on the agenda, but I wanted to make sure she had the opportunity to come back in and give us a report on update. But Lindsay with Tazwood Community Services on the LIHEAP status, which is also just for the board's knowledge. We did, once you hear the stats and how much they've done, we did write a letter of recommendation on their behalf because the program is actually up for reallocation here. So, Lindsay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Dillon. All right, my name is Lindsay Nance. I'm the CEO for Tazwood Community Services. I was here back in the fall. We became the emergency provider for LIHEAP services for Peoria County. At that time, I presented what Tazwood did as an agency last year in our 4-county territory. So I wanted to take this opportunity to meet with you guys and show you what we've done for Peoria County since we've been a service provider this past year. So in August, the second week of August, the state reached out to us and asked us to become the emergency provider for just the LIHEAP program. As we hit the second week of October, they asked us to also provide CSBG services. So we're going to start, I provided you guys a brief breakdown of some information. So we're going to start with the LIHEAP side. As an agency, we have taken over 10,000 applications. We're over 11,000 now. I did this report through the end of February. And so of those 10,000 plus applications that's been taken, we've approved over 9,700 of those, which is a 91% approval rate, which is really good. We typically run at about a 10% denial rate as an agency year over year. Breakdown by county, based on our funding, Peoria County should be 38% of our funding. We are actually operating at 42% of the funding that we've spent for LIHEAP has been Peoria County. That's important because I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that even though we were an emergency provider by Peoria County, those funds weren't going to the other 4 counties. We're actually up in Peoria County for what funding we're supposed to be spending for Peoria. So that's really great. Year over year, we are down 10%. So one of the things that I do as a leader is I believe in looking at the good things that we're doing, but also looking at our shortcomings. So that way we can improve our processes and reach people within our community. PCCEO, the agency that operated LIHEAP before, had done so for a lot of years. They ran a strong LIHEAP program. So us having this variance, I think, is normal. As a new provider in the community, and also not having an office in the zip code with our most vulnerable communities. When we were asked to take on the program, we did not have enough time to find an office space We had 8 weeks to have an office, hire staff, get it furnished, everything ready to go. So we took the first office space that was move-in ready that we could be able to provide services to people in Peoria County. So what I have noticed, I did a breakdown by zip code for you guys. I wanted to show you where we've had improvement in Peoria County, but also where we're having some shortcomings, and then also explain what we plan to do to fix that. So one of the things that I really like that we've done so far is our rural communities, we have an increase. That's huge. When you have large cities in a county, your rural communities sometimes get forgotten. So us having an increase in the rural communities is great. That means we're getting some really good outreach. However, as you guys can see, our most vulnerable zip codes are down. I contribute that to several things. Number one, where our office location is. Number two is customers aren't used to how we provide services, and we offer services a little bit differently than how they were given before. We offer appointments in person or over the phone. People can schedule appointments with us on our website or over the phone. So we do a lot of things differently, and change is hard sometimes for people. So it just continue to make positive outreach within the community and gain the trust of the community, and those things are going to change. So one of the things that we can do is we can run a report within the state system. It's called an unreturned client list, where we can see what customers applied last year but have not been in this year, and we can send outreach to them. We can send them letters saying, hey, you haven't been in to apply, just so you know, the service is still available in your community. You can apply through us, and we can be able to provide that service. We have been consistently scheduled out for appointments for at least 60 to 90 days. So this outreach has not taken place yet because of how far booked out we are. This is something that probably around May that we will start doing this outreach. So even though we are down 10%, the program is only halfway through. We have until August 15th to continue spending funds, and we do still have funding. The state does plan for us to run out of money, potentially towards the end of May or June, but they're looking to give us more. So we're hopeful that we can try to last through August. And then on the other side, I wanted to discuss the CSBG programs. CSBG is a grant that you get to write based on your county. We do what's called a community needs assessment every year. And from that needs assessment, we develop programs that customers say are needed within their community that they don't have access to. So what we did is, because we were asked to do CSBG services for Peoria County, we brought the existing services that we provide for Tazewell and Woodford County to Peoria. And so some of those assistants that have gotten a lot of positive attention so far is the water bill assistance program. That one has blown up for Peoria County. We help with water or sewer bills. We've so far approved 105 applications for over $30,000 worth of assistance. Another really important program is the car repair program. It helps individuals or working families be able to get their vehicles fixed so they can continue to get to their jobs. We also expanded this program through our outreach in the fall with Peoria County stakeholders to seniors and disabled customers to help increase their ability to live on their own and stay in their homes longer. The next program is dental assistance. We will provide any work that is needed and recommended by the dentist that's not covered by insurance. Medical card does not cover a lot of services for adults, and so dental health is very important for a person's overall health. So this has been really good for the community. Housing assistance, we've only done 3 approved applications because PCCEO provided rental assistance through the end of January. So we just started rental assistance at the beginning of February. However, I will say that our rental assistance program is drastically different than the rental assistance program that PCCEO ran. Some of the differences are we do not assist a customer if they get assistance from HUD because they're already getting a government stipend for their rent. So our rent program is designed for people that are already not getting a government assistance for that. But it can help with rent or mortgages. Okay. We do have a lot of detail on our website about our rent program. Some other programs that are available that haven't gotten a whole lot of traction yet, we do have an optical, hearing aid, and prescription program available as well. Some future programs that are going to come up this summer is we do a summer day camp program. So individuals or working families that cannot afford daycare for their school-age children, we will pay for them to go to a camp Monday through Friday, and we do that for the entire summer. We cover it 100%. We also do a back-to-school footwear program. We used to do a back-to-school backpack program, but now since COVID, that's blown up and there's a lot of people that do that. So we do a footwear program. So we do it's a gift card program where we purchase cards through, we normally do shoe department, but I know there's not one in Peoria now. So we are looking at some other vendors for the city of Peoria. But we purchased those to where customers come in, they apply, and then they're able to take those gift cards and purchase shoes for their kids. So it really helps promote kids going to school and feeling good in a brand new pair of sneakers. We also are going to have a scholarship program that will probably go live sometime this summer. And then we also donate funds to food pantries through our CSBG grant. Couple other small things. We also, through Energy Assistance, LIHEAP, we have an emergency furnace program. We've assisted 93 people total for the agency, and of those 93, 30 have been from Peoria County. Emergency furnace helps us restore heat to somebody it's gone out. So either a repair or replacement, whatever is necessary to restore heat to the home. And then we also do the weatherization program for Peoria County. We did 34 homes, and of those 6 are Peoria County. We are down in that program right now. We lack contractors, so we are considering going partially crew-based and having our own staff on board so that way we can start getting more projects done. So just kind of like what's next that I haven't already said. Peoria County is the notice of designation opportunity for LIHEAP and CSBG is live from the state of Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. So they will be deciding who the permanent provider is within the next 2 months. We are applying to become the permanent provider. And we are excited for the opportunity if afforded to us. And if that is afforded to us, here's some things that we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on increasing outreach. That's going to be important. We will be doing a CSBG program awareness where we'll put some stuff on our Facebook page, just highlighting the programs, letting people know that they're available, what it takes to be able to get those, things like that. We'll be looking to restructure our agency. Since we've had an office in Peoria County, I've gone from 20 to over 30 staff. And so when I became the CEO, we had 11 5 years ago. So we've tripled in size over the past 5 years. Of the staff that we have on board, we have 2 Spanish bilingual staff, we have a French-speaking staff member, and an ASL proficient staff member. So we've done a really good job of trying to diversify our workforce and be able to have more accessibility for customers as well. We will also be looking, if we are awarded this permanently, adding 9 people from Peoria County to our board of directors. We do run a tripartite board, so we'd have 3 elected officials, 3 community partners, and 3 customer representatives. We'd probably be looking to hire more staff, depending upon what the final funding numbers look like. I'm thinking that's approximately 3 to 4 more. We currently have 10 staff in Peoria alone right now, so that's quite a large staff. We're going to be focusing on contractor recruitment. That way we can get the weatherization program functioning more proficiently. And then new office location. That is pertinent. I need a big office, lots of space. Let me know if you know of anything. We need about a 4,000 to 6,000 square foot space. The grant application does require our new office space to be in the 61602, 3, 4, 5, or 6 zip code. So that is where we're going to be looking. I'd already talked to Chairman Dillon. We had already planned to be moving our office, in that general vicinity anyways. So I'm really happy to be able to do so and get closer to our vulnerable communities.
Great presentation. Questions? Member Coates.
Thank you for your diligence. It was a really good report, very thorough, and actually you answered some of my questions at the end that I was about to ask. One of the things I do have, and thank you on that location piece, you said that obviously those zip codes would be the definite considerations for those vulnerability areas. So that was extremely important to know. One of the other questions I had was on the 60 to 90 days out for appointments. What risks does that put people in for shutoffs?
So we have crisis staff available every day. So right now, if a customer calls in today with a shutoff notice, I have 4 team members available at the Peoria location alone that can do an application with them immediately. So they can either get, if they're available, they get transferred to them over the phone. We do walk-ins every day, specifically Thursdays every week, but customers can walk in with a shutoff notice. If a customer has already applied and been approved October through March, all they have to do is call us and let us know that they have a shutoff notice. They do not have to come back in. We can take that already approved application and run it for another benefit for them. So they're allowed to do it that way. And then we have staff available like that the rest of the program year because we know that the utilities can continue shutting off. But we will uptick our applications again probably towards the end of April. The first 15 to 30 days starting now through mid to late April is the key point when they start having a massive shutoff event with Ameren.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The other question I had was on the outreach. I know you said that, again, you answered some of that you guys are working on a strategy because in the beginning you said it was a letter only. So does that look like people going out to the physical addresses to get to the people? Because we know some people may not check the mail or may not understand what that means or may still be apprehensive about going any further with that.
I haven't thought that far, to be honest. In the LIHEAP system, customers, we can put down email addresses and mail. So a lot of times when we do the unreturned client list, if they have an email address, we will email first. And then if those then we run the report again, typically 15 to 30 days to see who's not been scheduled, and we'll redo it. We typically do paper mail. We've never gone out and done events, but one thing I could look into if I've got time with the schools, if there's enough time left, is reaching out to the superintendents and seeing if we can put a flyer in like the ended school year backpacks and things like that. We could try to do that, and that might help, especially if we hit the schools within the zip codes that we are below on our application count.
Okay. I was just hoping to make sure that it was more than just the letter part of that. The other thought was there's other agencies out there that I don't know how much information can be shared between the two, but maybe somehow that you can connect with. Could be the regional office of education for the kids who truancy kids, and they might happen to crisscross on that list that you're looking at. And I mean, that's a full umbrella of a problem right there. So that would be hopefully something to think about. The last piece, and I'm sorry to take up all time, the last piece on the CSVG programs, and I appreciate you explaining a lot of that and what opportunities you might have in the future. Is there a way you can break that status report down at some point, similar to how you have the LIHEAP program of, the approved applications taken in and then the number approved, and then also with the zip code breakdown of, for the amount of people that you say 105 were approved for water assistance, but what zip codes did those come from?
Okay.
Is that possible in the future?
Yep.
That would be extremely helpful. And that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions? All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate the report.
Thanks.
All right, before we go into executive session, let's just move this around and we'll do standing committees. Member Salzer, Infrastructure.
Mr. Chairman, we had 6 resolutions, and the very first one here has to do with the traffic signal lights that are very important to us in regards to this area because the airport is out here, and actually the gentleman sitting next to me probably could verify a lot more than I could in regards to this because he spent most of his life in this region and so forth. And Paul told us yesterday in the committee meeting that of those 4 that we're looking at right now, he says very, very few people ever stopped at the Garfield. Is that right?
Garfield stopped. Airport Road.
Yeah. But anyway, we had to hire an engineering firm, and we learned yesterday that we've had to hire a couple engineering firms because we lost an engineer. Now we don't know why we really lost that engineer, whether it was location or whether it was money, what it happened to be. So we got to try and beef up our engineering department. Anyway, getting back to this, Hanson was hired, and they are going to be in charge of the signal lights, and we hired them at $182,485, and this will be a signal upgrade, and these traffic lights are going to be a big improvement for us in this region. And like I said, Garfield and Pfeiffer, they are two of the streets, as well as East and West Smithfield Road. And we need this, of course, definitely for safety. Now, once we have completed the project and so forth out there, under the supervision of our highway department, we will turn this over to the city, and the city will, of course, maintain this for us. The second resolution has to do with the railroad crossing in I want to say Hannah City, but it's Glassford area, and there's a railroad crossing right there in Glassford. It's the Keokuk Junction Railway, and they and our people sat down and negotiated a agreement and so forth, and we have put $15,000 in, and again, the engineering firm that we have hired is Hanson to do the work for us in regards to this. The third resolution is one that is dear to my heart, PUATS. If you ever get a chance to serve on PUATS, I think you will learn quite a bit how we can get a lot of federal money involved here in our area. Well, we have to pay dues into that, and it's one of the best investments that we make. Sometimes, well, I'll tell you, when I went on PUATS, I think our dues were around about $35,000. Now, these dues are, as indicated, they're $55,051. The dues might bring us back, though. Work that needs to be done in our county to the tune of about $1 or $2 million. So this certainly is well spent money. The fourth resolution there has to do with the seal coating in many of our townships, and as indicated, 7 of the townships chose to recommend that we accept the bids of Hare. Now, this Hare that we know is going to do the seal coating is out of Trivoli, and the other one, of course, is R.E. Cullinan. Cullinan, of course, is out of Tremont, long-time company, and they are being awarded 6 of the township bidding, and the $300,000 that we eventually put in by the budget to the township motor fuel tax, that they, of course, will use that wisely in our head of the highway department, of course, Amy McLaren. She will be in charge of supervising that. Item number 5, you can look out these 2 windows, I should say any of these windows, and you can see what capital fund project is going to take place. And this has to do with the attempt to reopen and better the area of the entrance down by the Soldiers and Sailors Home. This item needs to be handled by people who are good in architecture as well as engineering, and that's why Dewberry has been selected. And Dewberry, they're going to handle this in regards to the exit down here by the Soldiers and Sailors and the Westminsters. It'll be right up here, of course, just a little south of the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. I think we have budgeted under this project $206,500. And the last one is one that we had 7 different bids on, and it says, of course, it's going to have to do with our jail, and we know that the jail is a high priority for us, and a firm by the name of Wold, W-O-L-D, out of Palatine. They were selected by the committee to handle this, and they will be ones who are in charge of the architecture as well as the engineering of the kitchen as well as the laundry. And we have no price on that because that's coming under an awfully big project, and we hope that eventually they get everything straightened out, and we have a good kitchen for those people out there as well as the laundry room. Mr. Chairman, that's the best I can do. Somebody else could probably do better.
Thank you, Member Salzer. Appreciate it. Ways and Means, Member Duncan.
Yes, the Ways and Means, we had one resolution, delinquent taxes for February 2026 with, let's just see, one item, and the vote passed unanimously. That's it.
Thanks, Member Duncan. Questions? Member Rosenbaum, land use.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On our informational items, Andrew gave us a Peoria County Comprehensive Plan update, and next month we'll have a larger one. So I wanted to bring that up. And then we had 2 zoning cases. One was a petition of Chaberton Solar Seneca LLC. That'll be over in south of Limestone High School, a smaller 17-acre solar farm, and that passed unanimously. And then we had a petition of David Herman. He came to us a few years ago. He had a trucking firm out in the rural area up north, and he wants to expand his business with a couple more trucks, a couple more employees. So he wanted to add on to a building to house his trucks and to work on them. And it's just nice to hear that people are expanding their businesses in Peoria, and that passed unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rosenbaum. Questions? Seeing none, operations was canceled. Health, Member Renault.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We just had one resolution, and that was the adoption of the 2026 Sustainability and Energy Plan.
Thank you, Member Renault. Questions? Seeing none, Member Allison, Public Safety and Justice.
We had Brian Brown come and give us a report on the juvenile probation, adult probation, and juvenile detention center. In those reports, he listed both numbers from 2025, what some of their challenges are with staffing, and some of the grants they get. So it's a handy summary. If you haven't looked through it, I would encourage it. And he's indicated he's open to adding to that if anybody has anything they'd like to see regularly. So that was under informational. We did have 4 resolutions, 3 of which were intergovernmental agreements between the Sheriff's Office and Pleasant Valley was one, Illini Bluffs was the other, and Princeville was the third. And then probably the most exciting was a $500,000 law enforcement camera grant that they'd secured. So that was all.
Good deal. Questions? Thank you. And then Member Williams in Finance was canceled. So that would bring us to all the standing committees. We're going to do public comment while it's still open. Miscellaneous. Member Blair.
Just a reminder that you got an email from HR Fit about the administrator evaluation. Please complete that survey. You have until next Monday, I believe, the 30th, to complete that, and anticipate that we'll have an executive session in April on that.
Any questions for that? Anything else under miscellaneous? Okay. Is there a motion to go into executive session per pending litigation? Member Williams, Member Allison. Member no mics.